And we are live. What's up, beasties? It's me. It's Triple B, your friendly neighborhood bearded book boost. Welcome back to another episode of Beast Friends Forever. And we have an awesome guest tonight. He is the author of this book right here behind me, this beautiful book. He is fantastic. He is an awesome person, a great supporter of so many people in the community. He's hilarious. He's also a fantastic writer because I read this book and it was awesome. He has a very long name that is hard to pronounce and hard to spell, but he is not hard to like and he is not hard to root for because he is awesome. And I'm talking about Alex Scheuermann.
Yeah.
Is that how I say? I always say it that way. Is that right?
Scheuermann.
Scheuermann. Oh, I was wrong.
But I accept Sherman as well. It's
Scheuer.
Scheuermann.
Okay, it makes sense with the E and the two E's and the U.
It's very German.
I like it. How you doing, man?
Good. It's great to be here and finally talk to you. I feel like we've known each other for like 6 months now and never gotten to talk.
I know. I'm so excited you're on here finally. It's going to be awesome. We've got some people sprinkling in, but I want to shout out Josh at Already Overbooked. Already here. First one. Thank you, my friend, for being here. We appreciate it. And thank you to everybody who's watching this on replay. Let's see. Contemplative Reader, what's up? Heading out to drive in the land of ice and snow. I bet. I'm in Michigan and it's starting to get gross. Yes. Be careful. And then Alex is here. What's up? Another Alex. That's right. How's it going, man? Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. So there's a lot I want to talk to you about, but before we get into anything, I don't want this to get lost in the shuffle, but I just want to say something to you. I want to say thank you because you're an awesome writer, and we're mostly going to talk about your book and like all the things you have planned and why I think you're awesome. But I want to say thank you for being such a great supporter of so many people in the community, including me, because when I first started this, you were one of the first people I connected with, and you've been in my comment sections in my video, you've been in my live chats, or just reaching out and saying hi. And you know that it doesn't help you at all to do that. And I think that just shows how awesome of a person you are.
Well,
and I just want to say thank you because you are, I like to get to meet people and talk to everyone on book too, but you're one of this small group of people that was really like connected with me from the start and made me feel welcome. So I appreciate you. And I just want to say that you're an awesome human being, my friend.
Well, thank you, Chris. I'd like to throw that right back to you. You're an amazing supporter of the indie community. So, I wouldn't say there's nothing that I gained from our relationship, but you have a great channel here, and I think I watched your very first video, and I was like, oh man, this dude is really nice. I need to support him. So,
well, I appreciate that because I've gone back and watched that first video, and it's when you first do these things, it's so weird just sitting in front of a camera, and you don't really feel comfortable or confident at all. But so I appreciate that you stuck around even after how I was early on.
No, I liked it. It was very genuine, and the technical stuff of YouTube that can wait, but the honesty and the love of reading and stuff was there, so I could see it.
Well, I appreciate that, my friend. You are awesome. All right, so before we dive into my questions, why don't we just let you introduce yourself real quick and tell us in your own words what this beautiful book is all about.
Yep. Yeah. So my name is Alex Scheuermann, and I'm the author of the Odyllic Stone, which is a young adult fantasy adventure. It's the first thing I've ever written, and it's about Astor Rutherford, who is the son of a postmaster. And he kind of wants to leave his village and explore the world, and he gets the chance when there's a sickness in the village, and he gets aboard a ship to go find a doctor in the big city. And then chaos ensues, and lots of shenanigans happen, and he's in over his head, let's just say.
Yes, for sure. That is a great way to describe it. I love it. All right, so tell me a little bit about... Actually, before we do that, I should ask you. I like to start off the interview by asking the guest how they would answer my question of the day. Have you seen my question of the day yet today?
I haven't
Okay.
gotten this one.
That's okay, because I actually only put it on YouTube. I didn't put it on everything else, and I put it up late, like at like 1 or something. So anyway, but having you on made me think of this question. So I'm going to ask you. I want you to answer it as a reader and as a writer, because it has to do with your book. Okay. So I said, which one of these subgenre types of things do you like most in your fantasy? So the options were seafaring adventure, treasure hunt, or the mysterious illness or cure, or other, something else.
I'm going to go with treasure hunt. I think that's my favorite of the three.
Okay.
And, you know, there's a lot you can do with a treasure hunt, and the treasure itself can be maybe some item, or it could be purely money, or it could be gems, or it could be magical. And so I think it has the most flexibility of the three options.
Okay. Would you say that for reading and as a writer, like writing your story and reading?
So that was my answer for reading.
Okay.
For writing, I really enjoyed doing the seafaring portion of it, and you know, that was kind of a surprise. It wasn't necessarily something I'd really needed to do at the beginning when I started the Odyllic Stone, but it was kind of like my method of travel, and just how the world was connected. All the different cities are all on the water, and it was just the fastest way to travel. So I really enjoyed the little seafaring tidbits I put in there. And one of my alpha readers actually was like, there's not enough ship lore in here. There's not enough details on how to do the ships. You know what sounding is. You know, blah, blah, blah. I was like, tell me all these things and I'll put them all in here. Right. So shout out to Ross, who's one of my alpha readers, who kind of helped me get a little bit more detail about my ship in there.
That's good to know, because I was going to say you did that part very well. It seemed like you knew your stuff.
Yeah, that was mostly his help.
All right, cool. All right, well, that leads us into talking about your book. Those three things stood out to me, because what I love most about your book is that it's such a mashup of so many fun, different things. So, but it's one cohesive story, which sometimes mashups can kind of lose the story a little bit, right, and it can get a little wild. But yours felt like everything made sense, but yet it mixed all these things, like the treasure hunt when they're trying to find the stone. When he goes on to the open seas, and it felt very much like a pirate seafaring adventure, which was so cool. And then, you know, the whole mystery of the illness that's struck, you know, his small village. So many cool things. I mean, coming of age, you know, found family, so many cool things that I just thought were very cool. So I'm wondering, did you plan that from the start, that it was going to be a mashup of all those things, or did you have one kind of thing in mind and then you added that in as you went, because it just happened?
So I guess taking a step back, one of the things I really love about fantasy, just in general, is it's every other genre in a trench coat with a little bit of magic to it. I think that's the beautiful thing about fantasy. It could be whatever you want it to be. And I think part of that is reflected in how the structure of the Odyllic Stone is because, you know, there's a heist element, there's a, you know, adventure, there's a mystery element, there's horror at the beginning with the cockatrice. And so I would say a lot of it's subconscious. I just kind of put it in there, but, you know, part of it is, that's the whole reason I love fantasy, is everything. It's
so fun, man. It was I mean, I sped through it. It was a fun read, dude.
Great.
And it was well written. Like, for the first thing, like, you never wrote, well, we'll get to that in a minute. Right now I just want to talk about the book. I'll come back to that. But I really loved it. So you mentioned that it was YA, and I feel like I can see parts of that. It's got a very cozy, like, you know, a young protagonist, a cozy feel to it. But I think that it really can speak to or be read by anybody, any age, because it gets pretty like dark and gruesome sometimes. Not like over the top, but like, you know, there's a few parts where I was like, dang, that's kind of spooky, or like, oh, dang, like, I can't believe that just happened. So tell me a little bit about how you you obviously wanted to write it kind of YA, like easily accessible to
Right.
lots of ages. But then how did you ever feel like you had to draw a line in some of those more scary or dark parts, or did you just go for it?
That is a very good question, and it's kind of complex. So the Odyllic Stone is kind of my love letter to old school YA fantasy. It's like from 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
not
Not now, like now. Yeah.
YA right now is kind of in a weird spot where it's like it just means fantasy for ladies or something. It's really weird. I don't
Right.
understand YA right now. So
Yeah.
I mean, essentially why I say this is YA is because, like you said, it's a younger protagonist. It's a coming of age story. Aster's growth is like him going into the world and discovering that it's not what he thought it was. And that's kind of the biggest theme of the book. And it's reflective of my journey of becoming an adult as well. It's like, okay, I'm an engineer by trade, and going through school and then going get a job and spending 10 years in corporate America is this is kind of my fantasy experience in a book. It was tough. Lots of things I didn't expect.
Oh yeah.
And so that's kind of why I say it's YA. And then also my prose, I tried to make it more on the simple side, make it really easy to achieve that kind of flow state of reading. You're not kind of distracted by the words and as much. And then finally, I do cut a little bit on, I guess, it's not super sexual, it's not super graphic. I mean, there's a couple things that are graphic, but that's all together. That's kind of why I categorize it as YA.
Okay, nice, very nice. Were there any influences for characters, or you mentioned how some of like what Aster goes through mimicked maybe your own life? Obviously not, the fantastical part, but
no cockatrice, no
right, none of that. But I mean, roosters can be pretty scary though, some of them.
They got big old talons.
I know. It can freak me out a little bit, and I have chickens and they still freak me out. But anyway, tell me a little bit about maybe some of your real life inspiration, like any of the characters or anything that happened that that you didn't just come up with on your own, that maybe was influenced a little bit from your life.
Sure. Well, my wife hates when I say this, but the character for Calantha is kind of based on her. She's a neuroscientist, so I really wanted Calantha to be very much a scientist in a fantasy world, and so I took inspiration from her personality and plugged it in.
Nice. That's awesome.
And then on the flip side, I would say also for Zinnia, she's kind of got monster PTSD, monster anxiety, and so I channeled a little bit of that as well from my wife.
Nice. Okay. Yep. I was gonna say that Zinnia's character, that it was very cool how that played out throughout the whole story. I thought you did a great job with that.
Oh, thank you. I think that's kind of one of my biggest risks in the book, is like structurally. I don't want to say too much, but Zinnia's character arc is probably my biggest risk I took in the entire book.
Well, I enjoyed it.
Great.
So, have you gotten any bad, not feedback, but like, have you gotten any feedback where people said they didn't like her character arc?
No, actually,
that's good.
I think people liked it for the most part. The thing I got the most negative feedback on is that my chapters are too long.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I don't know. I never felt. Well, see, I read it mostly. I had the physical book just because I love that cover, but I read it mostly on ebook, and I felt like, I don't know, maybe it was because I read it on ebook, but I never felt like any chapter was super long.
Well, they are.
They are, like, page wise, yes.
There are only 13 chapters in the book, and so there's a couple
true.
chapters that are 20K words. And...
Yeah, that's true. Some are pretty long. Are there like breaks in there?
Yeah, there's scene breaks, so that's kind of what split it up.
That's probably why, to me, it felt, I probably just stopped at times there when I needed to do something.
See, that's how I read too. See, you're doing it right, Chris. Everyone else who's trying to like finish the whole chapter is doing it wrong. It's you just go to the scene breaks and
that's all you got to retell. Then you can go do what you need to do and come back.
That's what I'm saying.
Nice. All right. Very cool. So tell me a little bit about the cover. How did the awesome cover come about? What was your process for doing that?
Yeah, so I was about halfway done with the book, and I went and I searched for a bunch of different artists, someone who could do kind of a fantasy monster. I wanted to do something different with the cover, and there's a couple trendy covers right now. It's like sword with text, and then you have like the fully illustrated, which is like scene characters, and then you have like something a little bit more abstract. And so those are kind of the three categories. I was like, no, none of those. I'm going to have a monster on my cover. So I found an artist who would do it, and I commissioned them to do the artwork of the cockatrice, because that's kind of like my central monster for the story. It shows up a couple times. And then I took the artwork and I did the font and stuff for it.
You did the font? That looks good.
Yeah, it's a learning process, and I have I'm not 100% thrilled with the back or the side, but I like the front, so good enough.
Hey, as long as you like something out of it, right?
Yeah.
I think it all came out good. You don't like the spine? You don't like?
Yeah, that number one I hate.
Yes. Oh man. Well, I mean, I guess. All right. Well, let's talk next then. What's next for? Are you working on something more in this world? Are you doing something different?
Yeah. So I'm definitely going to. The Odyllic Stone is going to be a trilogy. So I've got book 2 halfway written, and I kind of have already gotten some ideas for where it's going to end up in the final book.
Okay.
But in the meantime, I'm publishing something completely different, just to kind of flex my legs a little. And my next publication is going to be a murder mystery, a fantasy murder mystery.
I'm sold.
So it's very different and more kind of generic D&D style setting. Before I'll release the second book in the Odyllic Stone.
Oh, sweet! That's exciting, man. That sounds fun. So
yeah, it's going to be very silly.
Okay. Well, I like that too. We need some of that sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, I was asking because I was going to say, if you hate this, when you come out with book 2, are you going to try to redo any of this?
I'm considering it.
All right. So I'll have to get the new cover if you do another one. Very cool. Well, yes, I agree with Josh at Already Overbooked. He says that sounds awesome. I agree. We'll be there for it, man. That's exciting.
Yeah, I've got to definitely write the sequel to the Odyllic Stone, because there's some cliffhangery stuff at the end.
I think you did a good job at which I do like, because some trilogies, they just feel like one big long thing. Where I like what you did, and a lot of authors do, is you wrapped up a lot of little things in it, but left the main story still going on. So it's not like, a standalone, but at least when you finish it, you feel like, ooh, I can't wait to see what comes next. But it wrapped up some things nice where I'm not completely like, that's the end. What about, it felt like a good break spot.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm really picky about structure, and some of my fellow secret scribes would complain a little bit about it. But I feel like when you're telling a story, especially the first book, you've got to wrap up the central question of the story. And the central question of the Odyllic Stone is this illness in the village. So that's wrapped up after the first book. And then I kind of throw in some other things, and there's some political stuff going on, and the magic system is all like, okay, what's going on with that?
Yeah, a lot of threads left untied for sure.
But the central thread of will Aster cure the village is answered.
Yeah. I love that. I love that you wrapped up that the biggest thing from the first one, but then the story created new things to propel it forward, which was cool. So I like that. Let's see. So tell me a little bit about some of your inspirations from things that you've read or watched. What are some books or authors that inspired you in this book particularly?
Well, I guess my first introduction to really reading fantasy is The Hobbit. And my dad used to read that to me at night before bed. until I got so excited with the story that I had to steal it from him and read the rest of it myself because I couldn't wait for him to slowly go through as he read it chapter by chapter. So very inspired by The Hobbit. Very much the adventure and discovery of the world is very similar.
Nice. How old were you when you stole it from him to read it yourself?
Middle school, like maybe 6th grade or something.
You were chomping at the bit, I'm sure.
5th grade, yeah, something.
Nice. Okay.
And there's also a riddle in there. Like there's riddles in The Hobbit, and
yep. So. I see that now. I see that inspiration. Yeah.
Other things. So I read Mistborn, and I really like Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I read it after I was mostly done with it, but I would definitely say they're very similar in style and world. I do really like Brandon Sanderson's kind of more simple prose approach. I think, like I mentioned earlier, trying to really get your readers into that groove of reading invested, I think, is really important. The flow state, as they say.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then I really like Joe Abercrombie as well. I think there's sub influences there. I think just trying my best to emulate some characterization. I don't think I did a good enough job in the Odyllic Stone, but it's definitely something that inspires me to do better.
I love the characters, man. I think you did a great job.
Who's your favorite character?
Oh man, that's a hard one. Who would be my favorite? I mean, that's tough. I don't know.
Peter?
I did like Peter. He was a lot of fun. I have to think about it and tell you in a minute.
All right.
Because I really liked a lot of them. Like, I think you just did a great job with all the characters. There were definitely characters that were easy to root for and like, and characters that were very easy to be like, ugh, and dislike and want to see their downfall. But you had some good swerves in there too, from start to finish. There were some that I didn't see coming. So that was good too, character wise, where there was some where it was like, oh, he seems all right. Nope, he's not. Or like, there's something about this guy. Yep, I was right. Like, so it was good. It was fun. I think you did a great job with the characters, man.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it kind of hard to talk about my book though, because of the twists and turns. It's like, how do I how do I describe what's going on? How do I say what's really exciting about it when it's like all plot spoilers?
I know. I'm like, man, pretty quick into it. It's like, well, I can't say that one was my favorite because I'd have to. So yeah, I know. I mean, I don't know. I love the main character, so I love Aster, but. I really liked Zinnia. I liked Kara. Is it Kara or Kara?
Kara.
Probably Kara. Kara. I really like Kara. Peter. I mean, yeah, there were some good ones. They were good, man. Oh, we got some more friends that just popped in. Ted Red Instead is here. What's up, Ted? Thanks for being here. And Ryan Skeffington's here. What's up, Skeff Dog? All right, we got some awesome people here.
Howdy.
All right, so tell me a little bit. You mentioned kind of how you fell in love with The Hobbit when you were young from your dad reading that to you. Tell me a little bit more about your writing journey. Like, when did you start writing? Did you always love to write, or did you like to read? Then you decided to write. And when did you start to think, I want to do this writing thing, and started working on your book?
So I have never really written before. This is my first attempt at writing. I wrote a couple like flash fiction pieces, just to tread some water and see what I'm doing. But with the Odyllic Stone, essentially, I taught myself creative writing. I mean, I always did well in school, but I'm an engineer by trade, so all my writing was more kind of technical or data sheets and stuff like that. But yeah, I've always loved to read, and I just decided about 6 years ago, hey, I'm gonna write a book, and just to see if I can. And so that's what I did. I kind of taught myself and watched a lot of YouTube videos on the craft and tried to really study up on techniques, and it was hard. There's a lot of things, like even if you're good at writing English, it's like creative writing is not quite the same.
Right? For sure. Wow, that's crazy. So, so until you started writing this, besides the flash fiction stuff, you never were like trying to write before that. This was
No.
like your first endeavor.
This is my first attempt.
pretty impressive, my friend.
It's all right.
Pretty impressive.
It's all right.
Well, hey, you know what? They say that everybody learns and grows. An author grows every book. So I'd say for your first book, you're doing pretty good. So I'm excited to see where things go from here. That's awesome. Oh, Josh asked a really good question. How has your engineering career influenced your writing?
Yeah, so I get this comment a lot from my friends. They say, wow, you're really approaching writing like an engineer. And I think I kind of go and I find all the different tools. I go, okay, how to do good prose. Okay, how to do a character arc. And I kind of study the basic building blocks over and over and over until I decide, okay, I kind of figured out how I want to do it myself. And then I just do it. But it's like a lot of people are the opposite way. A lot of writers just kind of, they've just practiced over and over and over again. They try things out, whatever. Yeah. And I look at it from the completely opposite approach. I'm like, okay, an engineer style, here are the ingredients I need. And then I put them together. And do I like it? Do I not like it? I can tweak it.
Right.
So it's been a very interesting experience.
It is interesting. You're like, I got to get this locked down before I do it. And then I'll do it.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, hey, it worked. It worked. So then reading wise, has fantasy always been your jam, or did you read other stuff growing up and as an adult?
Yeah, I think fantasy's always been my favorite. I used to read like Clive Cussler and some of the adventure stories. So they're fiction adventure.
Where the adventure part. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I'll read some science fiction too. I like science fiction just fine.
Okay.
I'm a little hit or miss on science fiction because of my engineer mindset. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't seem plausible. I don't know about that.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, and then a little bit of horror too.
Nice. So. Okay.
But fantasy's my bread and butter. I love reading fantasy. I love the worlds and the magic.
Oh, heck yeah. Yep. Give us some quick recs from Alex. What are some fantasy books that you loved through the years that you recommend to people?
Oh, okay. Well, I think from going backwards from Joe Abercrombie, I liked the first trilogy. But I did not like The Blade itself as a standalone book. I don't think it has enough of a plot to be standalone without the context of the whole trilogy.
Yeah, it needs everything else. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I really liked what is it called? The book where she's got to kill a certain number of people. Is that Traders? Oh, I forget.
Hold on, I have it. Where's it at? Dang it! Is it by Sam Sykes?
No, also by Abercrombie.
Oh, you're talking about it's right behind me. I thought we switched gears. That's Best Served Cold.
Yeah, Best Served Cold. I think I like that one the best so far. I haven't read his next trilogy, but
the next trilogy is really good.
I hear good things.
Yeah. Best Served Cold was fun.
I'm about
nice.
Almost done.
Okay,
maybe 80% of Spricket the Bard, the Ballad of Spricket the Bard and Company.
Yeah.
I am thoroughly enjoying this. This is a little bit of a lighter take, a little silly. But
I heard it's a lot of fun.
Oh, it's a lot of fun, great characterization, and I'm gonna go back to my engineering nerdiness. The structure in this story is beautiful. I love the structure. There's like some flashbacks interspersed in it. Have you read this one yet, Chris?
No, I haven't. I'm going to, but I haven't yet.
So it's got like a present timeline, and then it flashes back to some scenes from Spricket's past, and it's just the way they're woven in and when they're introduced and what's revealed is just perfect. It is perfect.
I love that when a flashback two timelines is done well. Like, oof, I love it.
Yeah. So I'm really enjoying that, and I think it's going to finish with a bang.
Nice.
Some other books. Oh, if you haven't read The God's Blood Tragedy by Bill Adams,
yes,
that one was really good.
I'm reading that this month.
Very much a love letter to kind of like action adventure movies, and
yeah.
it's got bits and pieces from a lot of different things, and it is gruesome and bloody and a lot of fun.
Nice. I love it. Love it. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, so those were a couple of them. I probably could go on and on, but
Oh yeah. Those are good ones. Ryan says he likes this little known fantasy novel titled Lord of the Rings. I haven't heard of that one. I don't know.
Always a classic.
That is a good one. All right, so let's talk a little bit about your writing process. So there's always a few questions people always like to know about writers and their process. So first one is, would you consider yourself a plotter or a pantser, or somewhere in the middle?
Well, I think the truth is always in the middle somewhere, but I think answering that question, you gotta pick one side or the other. So I'm more of a plotter because I'll go and I'll kind of have key plot points to get to, key character moments to get to, and then I'll kind of weave those together and maybe make an outline. It's very loose outline. I'm not too strict, but then I'll kind of break it up by chapters. And when I do the chapter, I'm like, okay, I need to hit these plot points, these character points, and then I let myself go from there and just explore and figure out how the characters get there themselves. So it's like you got to plot those big things, and then you can let the small things come together however they want.
Now, when you were writing your book, did anything change with characters or things happening where you're like, oh, that doesn't fit now, or this character wasn't supposed to have a big role, but now they need to, or did anything happen like that along the way?
Yes. Originally, I had planned on killing off one of the main characters in the climax, and I kind of walked that back.
You have to tell me off screen in case you do like a re-edit and you change it or something.
No, I don't think I can change it at this point, but I'll tell you offline. But
okay.
Yeah, so originally I was like, I really liked how in Game of Thrones and in Song of Ice and Fire, the story seemed to be about Ned Stark, right? But it wasn't really. He was just the catalyst for everyone else's stories when he gets...
Yeah.
So I was like, that's really cool. I want to do something like that. But I changed my mind.
Oh, man, that would have been crazy.
Yeah. Have you seen Attack on Titan?
No, I've read the first 3 volumes. I need to watch the anime.
Yeah, where Eren Yeager is similar situation. I was like, is this what the story's all been about the whole time? And then they did something completely different. I was blown away for that one scene.
I was too, man. I'm like, what? Yep, I know exactly what you mean. Oh wow, I can't wait to hear, because I was fearing for a couple of them, so that's interesting. I can't wait to see who you were talking about.
Well, there's actually 2.
2? You were gonna do 2?
And the other character I had it written. Like the first character, I didn't even write it. I just decided not to do that.
Yeah.
By the time I was done, but the second character I had written that he was dead, and I had an alpha reader send me a several page reply on why not killing this character is a bad idea and how they still have things to be done in the plot. And I was like, you know what? Actually, I do have things I could do with them in the plot. Maybe I shouldn't kill them.
Oh man, they had so much to do still, Alex. Jeez. Well, I'm glad someone saved them because I love all your characters. So that makes me feel better that someone saved them. We got another awesome author that just popped in here, and booktuber Mike Molman. What's up, Mike? Thanks for being here, man. Awesome dude. All right.
So I got a question for you before we move on. So how's it going with your YouTube channel? I hear you you're making it big now.
I don't know about making it big, but making it slightly less smaller. We'll go that way.
I mean, you've only been doing this for 6 months or something. That's pretty huge.
Oh yeah. It's been, and actually, I'm pretty excited too, because today, like, YouTube's always like a week behind with like the goals. Of course, they're like, we have to. I shouldn't say this on a live. I might get in trouble.
I mean, it takes a little time to process the information.
Yeah, it takes like a week. So, so I got to your first thing to monetization is getting to 500 subscribers and 3,000 hours watched. Then the second one is 1,000, subscribers and 4,000 hours watched.
Okay.
And usually, like within a year, people can get close to the 500 or 1,000, but the hours watched can take a long time. That's why I love doing these lives, because I have a blast, and it's a way to get, because they're always an hour long. It's a way to
interesting. I never thought about it that way.
Hours
Okay.
watched stuff, But so I hit the 500 and the 3,000. I hit the 1,000 about like 3 weeks ago, which was pretty exciting, because I thought when I started this, I thought if I can hit like 100, that'd be awesome. I didn't have any. It was like I just want to learn from other authors, meet people that love books, because like most of us in this sphere, nobody in my normal life likes to read or talk about books, so I can't talk to anybody. But anyway, so just yesterday I checked and I hit the 4,000 hours watched.
Great, congratulations.
I know. So that means probably like sometime next week, any videos going forward, I'll be able to monetize them with like the ad stuff, which is pretty sweet.
Well, that's a huge milestone. Congrats.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited. I'm also excited because another awesome author has popped in here, Timothy Wolf. What's up, Beastie? So yeah, that was pretty cool. So thanks, man. I appreciate you saying that. And thank you, Ted. I appreciate that. So yeah, it was funny because when we scheduled this, you're like, oh, by then you're going to probably be past 1,000. And I'm like, nah, because I was still like a couple hundred away or something. But you were prophetic. You could have bought a lottery ticket that night too.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, but by the time we talk, we scheduled this like a month ago. By the time we talk, oh yeah, Chris is gonna be past 1,000. We'll celebrate on camera, and he's like, no, it's not gonna happen. I was like,
Well, it's crazy. It's just been a fun ride, and I haven't really had any videos go wild. I had one I did like my top 10 series that got like over 1,000 views for my first time ever. That was pretty cool. But everything else has been pretty small, so I feel like even more proud of it because I've been grinding.
Yeah, you put in the work. It seems like it's a lot of work.
It can be. So, and yeah, life's gotten a little busy lately, so I've been not wanting to fall off reading too much. So I've just been doing like these lives and then a video or two. I haven't done as many shorts. I haven't done as many extra videos, but eventually
I'll burn out. So
yeah, exactly. You gotta go with the peaks and valleys and go with life, because you want it to stay fun. You don't want it to become
absolutely.
I don't want to be sitting here like before I hit the button being like, so gotta keep it fun.
I cannot see you doing that. You seem so positive in all your videos and all your chats and everything.
I am this is who I am in real life, but still.
Yeah, I believe that.
Oh man.
Ray of sunshine over here.
I feel like you are the same way, my friend. Yeah, I feel like you are.
I'm a curmudgeon.
A curmudgeon who's always laughing when they say they're curmudgeon. I don't think that's true. Well, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. You made me forget my train of thought. What was my next question? Oh yeah, we were talking about process. So we talked about you being a plotter, but you're open to pantsing when the time is right.
Absolutely.
So the other question I want to know is kind of your writing. Like, how do you make it happen? Do you have like a set day or time every day you write? Do you set goals for the day, for the week? Do you just say, I'm going to write when I can write and whatever happens will happen?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of a chaotic writer.
Okay.
I don't have anything set. I don't track sprints or anything. Usually, sometimes I will, but and then I'll just write when I write. Yeah, it's very bad. I do not recommend it. It means I'm very slow. If I got more dedicated writing time, I think I would write a lot faster, and Odyllic Stone 2 would be out by now. But
I'm done with it now. I want number 2 or your next thing out. So be less chaotic.
The other problem is I just had a child, so
you have a good reason to have a chaotic everything right now.
That kind of cuts into the writing time a little bit.
Yeah. Congrats, by the way. That's fantastic. How's all that going?
Good. He's happy. He's healthy. He's getting fat. He's got chubby little cheeks. So
chubby babies.
So yeah, it's all going good.
Good. Is that your first?
It's my first.
Awesome. Okay. That's even more reason for congratulations. So, how do you feel like, I mean, you're a new dad still. It's not like it's been like years or anything, but with the stuff you're writing, do you feel like being a father has changed anything, the way you look at anything as you're writing so far?
Yeah, well, if I'm ever going to write anything with a baby in it, I definitely have a very different perspective on how it goes than
Yeah,
from
for
before.
sure.
Uh, like you hear the stories about all the poop and the pee
Oh yeah.
and whatnot, but that's not the issue. The issue is the sleep deprivation. That is by far the hardest thing to overcome.
Oh, it is, man. I don't miss those. That's the one thing I don't miss. I love when my kids were little and they couldn't go anywhere and they needed me more because as they get older, they still need you, but in different ways. It's not the same. And then they get to an age where they don't want you to hug them or kiss them, or they don't want to acknowledge you in public, all those things. But I definitely don't miss the sleep deprivation.
Luckily, by now we've kind of got it figured out, and it's not too bad. But at first, that was a rough couple of weeks.
That's a big change, right? Yeah. How's the baby sleeping through the night? Okay.
Yeah, so right now I'm on night shift because I work from home and my wife has to drive into the office. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll sleep in the mornings and so
Good
yeah,
man.
he'll sleep for 3 or 4 hours, like two stretches at night. So it's like
that's pretty
10
much all
o'clock to 2 o'clock is one
Yeah.
sleep session, and then like 3 to 6 or 7 is the other. And I think it's actually all right now.
That's pretty good. I mean, if the baby's only getting up for to eat or because they pooped or peed, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's awesome. I wanted to shout out, this is great, contemplative reader. Thanks for telling me that your name's Jay. Now I don't have to say contemplative reader. So thank you, Jay. That was very nice of you to make that comment and let me know. Appreciate it. And Mike says curmudgeons unite. There's another super kind and positive person who's not as much of a curmudgeon as they like to make it. You too. All right. So, and the last one people always want me to ask is about while you're writing, do you listen to music or listen to like a show or anything? And if you do listen to music, can you listen to music with lyrics or does it have to be instrumental only? How about that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting question too, because it's like some people can really like listen to whatever and they're fine. No, for me, it's got to be lo-fi. It's got to be no lyrics, for like very subtle, quiet lyrics. Yeah. So when I was writing the Odyllic Stone, I would listen to a lot of lo-fi hip hop and
nice.
fantasy style sounds and. But no, once there start getting words in there, I just lose my train of focus and I can't write as fast as I want. And sometimes words get screwed up and I put words from the lyrics in there and it's just not good.
I feel like that's what I would do too. Yeah, that would get hard. Oh, that's good though. But you do listen to music, or there's times where you listen to nothing and you just write in silence?
I would say maybe 25% of the time I'll listen to music, and the rest I'll just kind of sit in silence and do whatever.
Nice. Does it just depend on like the mood you're in, or does it depend on what you're writing, like the scene or something, or both?
My mood mostly. It usually I usually don't like curate playlists for what I'm writing or for scenes. I just don't have time for that. No, whatever.
Like in the moment, right? Yeah. Nice. All right. Timothy said high fantasy lo-fi. There we go.
Perfect.
I like it. All right. So I want to switch gears a little bit. I've got some questions for us to get to know you outside of writing. But before we do, I don't know if you've watched any lives lately, but this is when we're going to do our 1 minute mystery as a brain break.
Okay.
So these are little cards. I got them in a book subscription box, and this has been a hit. So I have 3 here. I'm not going to let you see the cards, but 1, 2, 3. I'm going to have you choose a number 1 through 3. That will be the card I pull out, and then it has a case on it. It tells you what the mystery of that case is, and then there's clues I can give you, and then you have to try to guess what you think to solve the mystery, what the answer.
Okay, that's perfect setup for my upcoming book. So we'll go with number 2.
You're doing 2? All right, here we go. All right, so chat, as always, go ahead and pop in here. Ryan Skeffington, when he's on the channel, he can skip the brain break. He feels like he exists without a brain. That is not true, my friend. You're incredibly smart, because I already had you on. Actually, he was like my first live I ever did. He was very gracious because I struggled through that, but we had a lot of fun. But I didn't have something like this then. So, Ryan, when I have you on again before book 2 comes out, you are definitely doing the minute mystery. All right, are you ready, Alex?
I'm ready. Let's hear this mystery.
All right, chat, go ahead and pop in too to help out. All right, so here's the case. A man is fishing on a small, peaceful lake in a remote area of North America. While enjoying the sunshine, he accidentally falls into the water. The man is a former Olympic swimmer, but he's unable to swim the 50 yards to shore. Although he keeps his head above water and doesn't drown, well, this is the most intense one I've ever got to. Okay. Although he keeps his head above water and doesn't drown, he dies within 30 minutes. Nobody's died in one of these cases yet. Okay. So the mystery is, why can't the man swim to shore, and what is the cause of death?
I'm going to go with hypothermia. He's too cold.
Oh my gosh, man. You got it in less than a minute. The man dies of hypothermia and can't swim because the lake is covered with ice. That one threw me off. I had not had anyone die in any of these yet. Usually it's just a play on words, and it's like, oh, that's what they meant. Like, oh my gosh, this guy dies.
The clue that hinted it off was the North America.
Yep. Yeah. I was like, the water's definitely be cold.
Yeah,
and it doesn't. Yeah, this one doesn't. It doesn't mention anything with the an orca whale. Yeah, I know that's true. That would be a rough way to go out for sure.
My second guess was he was drunk, but you know.
Yeah, that would have been good. Ryan wants to borrow your brain. That was quick. That was well done. Well done. I think the only 2 people I've had solve it within a minute was you and Dr. Fantasy Philip Chase.
Oh, well, that's good company. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but I think you might have got it even quicker than he did. So, well done. Well done. All right. So, I just have a few simple questions, and then we'll just kind of go from there. So, The first one, what is your favorite color?
Green.
Green. Okay. Nice. All right.
I got a little snippet about that actually.
I was gonna say, is there a reason that it's green? Okay.
Is there a reason? I don't remember. It's been so long. You know, you decide your favorite color like in elementary school.
True. What's the snippet you're talking about then? I thought you had a story behind the green.
So originally, I put Aster in a green tunic.
Oh, okay.
And my mother, of all people, said, "Oh, he's Link." And then I had to I guess he's not in a green tunic anymore. He's not Link.
But he wouldn't have had the hat, right?
Or the fairy ears, or yeah.
Come on. Oh man, that's so funny though, because it is a very Zelda-ish high. Like it does give vibes of like that adventure. Like, yeah, I could see.
I mean,
that.
I definitely say I'm inspired by Zelda as well. So you know, but still. My own mom.
Dang it. Oh, man. All right. We got another Tim in here, too. The Timocracy is complete. What's up, Tim? Thanks for being here. Tim McKay. All right. I'm trying. The reason I just said his full name, if I say anything weird in these, it's because I'm trying to figure out how to make these all into podcasts, too, so I can put them as just audio on a podcast eventually. So I'm starting to try to think like, eventually people might listen to this and might not see what I see.
Who's Tim? Why does he keep mentioning this Tim person?
Yes, I know everyone knows. They can see it's Tim McKay, but that's why I said.
For everyone listening, Chris has named the voices in his head Tim. And if he ever references Tim, he's just talking to himself.
That's right. That's right. There's actually no one in the chat right now. If you're listening to this only and on audio. All right. Favorite color was green. What is your favorite food?
I answered pizza last time I was asked this question, but now I'm going to say sushi.
Ooh, nice. I like sushi too. Do you go to sushi restaurants?
As much as I can,
Nice.
they're not the cheapest places to go.
No,
so.
they are not. I actually liked. I had only had sushi like from like the grocery store or like at a Chinese buffet when they have a little bit of sushi up there.
Yeah, not quite the same.
No, and then I went to an actual sushi restaurant and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much better.
Did you have the actual raw fish sushi or just the rolls?
Both.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, that actually, I think my favorite thing I've had at one is this one place had a sushi burrito that was just basically just a huge honking thing of sushi. It was so good.
Cool. Never heard of that.
I know. It was pretty good.
Yeah,
Nice.
So for work, they sent me to Japan a couple of times, and so I've gotten to have Japanese sushi from one of those little restaurants on the side of the street that you go into. Oh, it's so good. I'm a little bit of a connoisseur at this point.
Yes, I love it. Oh, man. Mark from Avid Book Junkies here. What's up? Oh, man, we got Mike said he's a bearded figment of imagination. That's right. I'm just imagining all of this. I actually haven't even started a YouTube channel. I'm just imagining this.
I'm glad you're imagining success for yourself, though.
Yeah, right. That's true. At least it's a positive imagination, right? All right. So what would you say if you had to pick, let's say, just 3 books instead of just one? If I said, what are your 3 favorite books you've read? What would you say? Unless you know just one overall, then you don't have to say 3. But
well, that's got to be back to The Hobbit. I think I reread it maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and it still holds up. Like it's not quite as gritty as The Lord of the Rings is,
right,
but I think it has a little bit more whimsicalness, a little bit more kind of fairy tale esqueness that kind of gets lost in The Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's got to be my number one. I know it's boring, but
Hey, that's awesome. Well, it's cool. I mean, like my book that got me into fantasy was Redwall. But like if I was to ask what's your favorite book, that wouldn't be my favorite book of all time. So I think it's cool that the book that really got you into this world is also still your favorite book. I think that's cool.
What's your favorite book now?
Gosh, man. Well, I mean, obviously,
now that you've read like 100 in the last year.
Probably. I mean, I love First Law, so probably it would be one of those, and I would probably just say it was the most recent one, the final one of the second trilogy. Yeah. Wisdom of Crowds was really good, but yeah, I like a lot of them. They're so good. It was a lot of fun. I also like Lightbringer from Red Rising.
I've heard good things about that one too. I haven't read that one though.
Have you started Red Rising at all?
Not them.
So when you do, because you will eventually, because you like the fantasy, definitely read at least the first 2. Because Red Rising, I think, is really good, but it's a lot more like smaller in scope, and it's a lot different than when you get into the other books, and it just explodes and gets way bigger. So read through Golden Sun, which is the second book, before you decide.
All right, I will.
All right. What about favorite author? Obviously, besides Tolkien, but
that's tough. I don't know if I have a favorite author right now. It's like I like bits and pieces from everyone. Yeah. Like I like how approachable Brandon Sanderson's prose is. Yeah. I love Abercrombie's characters. I'm gonna pass on the author question. I'm not sure.
That's fair. Here we go. So do you know the opening line? I don't even remember the opening line. Jay says best opening line any book ever in The Hobbit.
Yeah, he's talking about what a hobbit is and how it's not. He lives in a hole, but it's not like a stinky, dirty hole.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Nice. Oh, Miss Molly McCabe is here. What's up, Molly? Thanks for being here. All right. So you mentioned Zelda earlier, so I'm guessing you like to play video games.
Oh yeah, that's the other hurdle to me writing.
Oh, they're so fun, aren't they?
I have so much fun with them.
You know, it's gonna be a hurdle to your video game time is that sweet little chubby baby you have now.
I have some photographic evidence of him playing games with me already, so
I know, but just wait until he starts crawling really fast and getting into stuff. Now
he's
sit
going
in
to
your
be
lap.
the best gamer of all time. I'm going to train him young.
That's going to keep him from getting into stuff. He's going to be too busy playing games.
Oh yeah. We have my friends here locally. We have a LAN party, and I know that makes me old because what is LAN? What does that even mean?
Right.
For all the youngins in chat, that means local area network, and it basically means you all sit in the same room and play games together. So one of our friends has a 9-year-old son that we've just started inviting to LAN, and he loves it. He loves it so much to play games with his friends, and
that's so cool. That's awesome. Yes, I know. That's you don't see that anymore. That's the way to do it. I mean, it is cool when you can play with friends online that you live far away from or whatever. Like if you and me picked up a game and played, that'd be awesome. Yeah. But there still is nothing beats when you're right in the same room together. That's just awesome.
Well, the thing is also we have someone's house and we go there and we spend 3 nights there or 2 nights there, and it's just like a whole weekend LAN.
That is awesome. All right, so video games. What's your console? Do you have more than one?
So I'm mostly a PC gamer. I built my own PC, electrical engineer and everything.
Makes sense.
So I usually use Steam and you know, whatever's there. But I also am a Nintendo fan. I have a Switch and a bunch of their old consoles. So.
Oh, nice. Which old ones do you have?
In our house, we've got a Nintendo 64, 2 GameCubes, all the different Game Boys that ever existed. I've got a Wii, a Wii U.
That's impressive. Very nice.
Maybe I'll send you a picture of my shelf with all my different games. It's like I got a bookshelf for books and then a video game shelf with all my games on it.
Oh, that's cool. My brother was he was a Nintendo guy, and then when we were kids, he was Nintendo, I was Sega. And then I got into PlayStation and he got into Xbox. But he has all the old Nintendo stuff too. I have I don't actually have any Sega stuff, but I have like PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all that stuff. But yeah, I just love games, man.
Speaking of Sega, so you're a Sonic the Hedgehog fan? We gotta talk about this.
Yes, I am.
So when I was in high school, I used to collect the Archie comics for Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, I love those comics.
And so I have maybe 200 of them.
I'm so jealous, man. I remember because why did we start talking about that? I feel like we talked about it, and
we did. You mentioned the movie. I think.
Video. Yeah. Yep. Oh, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, those were fun. I love those.
Yeah, and so it's funny because the Sonic I grew up with the comics, and there was a couple different cartoons, but one was the Saturday morning cartoon, so it's always called Sonic Sat AM because they didn't have a good name for it, but it was like super dark, and it was a post-apocalyptic world, and Sonic is like a freedom fighter against the evil Robotnik, and it's just like really dark, really gritty, and like nothing since has ever been that dark. But that was my favorite.
I know that was pretty cool. Didn't they have some spin-off comics of that too? Like in that world?
The main comic world was pretty similar to that. Like not quite as dark, but very, very, very much in line.
Right. Yeah. Oh man, that's cool. You have to send me a picture of some of those too. Of that.
Oh yeah, I have them on my bookcase. Maybe I can go grab them if you don't mind seeing my.
No, go ahead, man. Yeah.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right. What's up, people? Let's see. Oh yeah, Game Junkie. That sounds like a cool store, Mark.
So yeah, I've got a bunch of them.
Oh yeah, that looks sharp. Dang, man.
They're all in order and everything.
Of course they gotta be. Oh, that's a cool one right there. Ah, I man, I have a problem. I love collecting too many things.
Yeah, that's my problem too. My wife is like, "You can't have any more hobbies." I'm like,
Like,
"But what about more
I'll
hobbies?"
find some more. So, do you
Um,
still read or collect comics now, or is it just older stuff?
uh, I only ever really collected Sonic comics,
Mm-hmm.
and they discontinued the series. At some
Mm-hmm.
point, I'll go back and probably buy the ones I'm missing, but I
Yeah,
have most of them.
that's awesome, man. Yeah, I don't collect comics anymore either. I used to back in the day, but I do still read them now. But mostly, I do it on like online through gosh, what's it? It used to be Comixology, but now it's just part of Amazon Prime,
Hmm.
that whole thing. But or like Hoopla or something like that, the library. Um, so was Sonic like your main comic you even read back in the day, or did you
Yeah.
read any other ones? Superhero stuff, anything?
I liked Spider-Man.
Nice.
So I would read Spider-Man. But and then I liked X-Men. But
Oh
mostly it's because of the cartoons. I
yes, I
didn't
was
I didn't
gonna say,
read the comics as much because I just
right.
didn't have access to them when they
Yeah.
were like Golden Age or
Oh yeah.
anything.
Same. Yeah, I mean those '90s cartoons were so good.
Oh, they're
Spider
so good. They're still
Man.
good.
Oh, they are.
They didn't make
Batman,
them. They don't make them
Superman.
the same. I don't
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. Well, what's cool is if you watch those cartoons, I think were so good because especially Spider-Man and X-Men, they took a lot of those episodes were like straight page for page from the comic. So that's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah.
They don't do that anymore. It's all its own thing, they're separate, but pretty cool, pretty cool. Uh we got a couple of other people that just popped in here. John Stevenson. That's right. The wife, the kids, the family, they become our main hobby. That's what happens.
Yep.
And the Rockstar Grimfell's here. What's up? Games
Howdy,
for life.
howdy.
Yes, we love the games. All right. What is one? I guess now that we know about a little more of your hobbies besides writing, what's a hobby or a talent that we don't know about yet that you can tell us about? Maybe that would not necessarily has to surprise people, that just we might not know about.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get another prop real quick.
Okay. Oh man, what is this going to be? I
As you
think we
can
have
see,
the
I'm super prepared
same pair
for.
too. Mine's just red.
Yeah. Super prepared for our discussion, but this is my latest hobby: is bookbinding.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was going to ask you about that. I'm glad you got that out to show it.
So I was
It's
experimenting
amazing, dude.
with leather
That
leather
is
bound
so
books. So what this was is this used to be a Amazon paperback, and what I did is I cut out the cover and made some book boards and glued it here and
that is
got
sweet.
leather for the spine and got gold foiling
Oh man,
and pressed it in there and so.
dude. I if you ever like try to like make those and sell them, I would buy one from you. That was too sick.
I maybe at some point right now I don't think I'm good enough. It's hard.
It looks good. I mean, I guess I can't see it in person, but you also have an engineer's mind. So even if it was perfect, you'd be like, "Oh, this is not good enough." It looks pretty sweet, man. You did good on
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so right now I've been making one for the different secret scribes
Yeah.
that I've read their book,
Mhm.
and it's been a slow going, maybe one a month, one every other
Oh
month,
yeah. I'm sure
two
it's not
months.
an easy thing.
It's not too bad. I think the foiling process is the thing that's been the
Oh
trickiest for
yeah.
me because you get a hot piece of metal with the lettering on it,
Hmm.
and you have this little gold foil, and you got to like stamp it at a certain temperature at a certain
Oh
pressure to
wow.
get it to transfer correctly. And if it doesn't transfer correctly, like the words don't go on there, and you get one shot. So you screw up,
Dang.
and you're just done. You wasted leather.
That's it. Oh. Well, yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. You mess up, that's it's a good
Like
hunk of leather you're using there.
you could do a little bit to fix it, but it's
Oh man. So how did you decide to start doing that? You just thought, I wonder if I could make one for my own book, and then that's how it started, or
Well, the special edition covers are like really hot right now, and there's a couple of companies that are doing amazing jobs at these special edition books. But
Right.
I was like, okay, well, maybe for us indie authors who don't have anyone following, like, what could we do to offer that would be kind of just as cool? And I was like, well, I could probably do it myself. And that's how the book came about. That's how my bookbinding came about.
That's pretty cool, man. That's exciting. I'm excited to see what more you do with that. That's cool. For sure.
Yeah, I'll play around with it some more, but
John Stevenson's referencing it. It's cool that I have a bookbinder on here. My a couple ago I did with Matt Sean Bell. He had a 3D printer. He showed me he made like the Spider-Man statue
cool
head from, and I'm like, what? That looks like something you'd pay like top dollar at a Comic-Con show, and he just made it in his 3D printer. I'm like, that's wild. The things you can do nowadays.
Yeah,
3D hard work.
So much fun.
Yeah, 3D printers. Maybe you can make a special edition out of a 3D printer. That would be something.
That would be something.
It would just be a statue, though. It wouldn't be a functional book.
Well, you could.
Could you make like a cover that you could stitch the book into? Or is that just plastic that comes out of there, though, right?
It's mostly plastic, but you could use the 3D printer for the front, the back, and the side, and then just kind of like stitch it on there. And I think you could do something.
There you go. But it wouldn't be made with the same with your two hands like that one is, though. There's something special to that.
Yeah, I think I did a good job on this one.
Yeah, let me see it one more time. Okay. I'm gonna see it again. I love the bookmark tassel thing. Oh yeah, that's cool. That is sweet. Yeah, I think you did great, man. Because didn't you post pictures of that on social media?
I did a couple months ago, I think.
Yeah, I remember seeing that and like, what? You did that yourself? Looks sweet, man. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, let's see.
I did want to ask you something. So, do you have Bookbringer with you?
Not allowed. Yes, I do. Right here. And
so I have an official announcement regarding Bookbringer. In my fantasy murder mystery, Bookbringer is officially in the book.
No way.
Yep.
Do you hear that? You're going to be famous.
Yeah, so I think I forget who you were talking with. Maybe with Greg. Did you have Greg on the channel?
I did, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think you were talking about it'd be so cool if Bookbringer was written into a story. Or I forget how it came up, but I was like, all right, well, I have the perfect story because my fantasy murder mystery is going to be kind of a little bit on the sillier side.
Okay. All right.
And it's set in a big manor. And there's a library in the manor, right? And so I had like an excuse to have lore for why there's a sword called Bookbringer. I was like, okay, I've got to put it in now. Yeah. So Bookbringer makes an appearance.
I'm looking forward to it even more. I wondered what your announcement was going to be when you said that earlier. Sweet. Yeah. Oh, I'm even more excited now, man.
I hope the book's not too silly for you, but it's going to be in there, Chris.
That is awesome. Nothing can ever be too silly, especially if it has Bookbringer in it. It's already awesome. That's cool. That gives a whole new meaning to his name, the Bookbringer. He's not only bringing books in my book mail, but he's bringing your book to life.
Mm-hmm.
Look at
there you go.
Damn, that's cool. So you heard it here first, people. Bookbringer is going to be in a book. All right.
Bookbringer will be published.
Yes. Mainstream. Here we come. Oh, that is awesome. All right. Let's see. What would you say? We're sticking with the favorites theme here for a minute. What would you say is some of your favorite movies or TV shows through the years?
Yeah, so I really like Breaking Bad. Nice. I didn't watch it when everyone else did, but I thought the characterization for Walter throughout the whole series was just beautifully well done. Especially like, I guess the first 2 or 3 seasons, it was just so good, so realistic. You could totally see, a guy down on his luck kind of inch into that way, and then full on be a horrible person.
Yes, yeah. For sure. Yeah, I agree. It was, I watched it. I don't know if I caught it by the last season or if I watched the whole thing after it was done. But yeah, I was a little late to the party too.
Mm-hmm,
That is a really good show. Well chosen.
Yeah. I think this is another influence for like characters like Fletcher, but Indiana Jones,
Ooh, yes,
the
yes.
whole archaeology thing and the
Yeah.
action adventure thing. So,
Love Indiana Jones. That's good stuff.
yeah.
Nice, nice. Those are good
Uh,
ones.
let's see. I love Game of Thrones up until the last 2 seasons.
No, same, same. I know.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, just once they didn't really have anything to go off of, it kind of just got a little like, I don't know if they would go that way, but
It's just like a lot of build up and then the plot conveniences just got too much. It's like, okay, what happened? Oh yeah, of course that
of
happened. Oh
course, yeah,
yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
And then they started like breaking the character arcs and like you had the characters going a certain way and they're like, oh, we'll just change this just because
Yeah.
it'll shock people. Like, no,
Yeah.
you can't do that to
Like,
a character arc.
no,
Like
I
you
know
built up everything up to this point. You can't just
exactly. Just land the plane. Come on. I know. I feel the same way. That's why it's like, man, it's just such a bummer if he never finishes it.
he's
Just
not
because
going to.
I know.
No, he's not.
Come
Maybe if we're lucky, we'll get one more book, and then that's it.
I know. That's the thing. He's not going to finish it in one book if it's taking this long, and the next one isn't out. It's not going to happen.
Nope.
I know. We'll just have to always remember in our minds how we think it would have ended.
I think that's the best we can do.
I know. Be cool if he worked with some really good video game company and made a video game that ended it, or like an open world, and you could just end it however you want. That would be good.
Oof, that would be hard. Maybe like Witcher 3 style video game.
There you go. I know that would be tough in that world for sure. It'd be interesting though.
You'd have to capture like the politics somehow. I think it'd be even more than what The Witcher had. You'd have to like be part of one of the groups, like choose one of the kingdoms and then try to like usurp the other ones or topple them or something.
Yeah, you'd have to find a very special way to do it. I agree. Mark, you have not read watched Game of Thrones. Have you read them? Because if you haven't read them yet, I would say if I could go back now, I would read a book, watch a season. Read a book, watch a season. Because the books are so good, and the show is really good too, up till those last 2 seasons. But I would definitely not skip out on the books if you haven't watched or read it yet, for sure. Did you read them first or watch them first?
I have not read them yet. No,
you haven't read them either. Oh. Yeah, the books are so good.
Yeah, I really didn't get back into fantasy reading very much until maybe 3 years ago, and right now, like, I'm trying to read indie.
Yep.
And I don't have enough time to read as much indie as I want to read. So it's like all the trad stuff is like, nah, whatever. That can wait.
I know there's just so much good indie stuff, man. It's like there was already so much traditional stuff because I was the same. I really like didn't read for once I started having kids. And it's not going to happen to you though. Once I started having kids, like I probably went like 15 years where I only read like the Dresden Files every year, the one book that would come out or something like, I didn't read much else. So I did get Game of Thrones in though, because my brother was a huge Game of Thrones junkie. So I read them after he would read them, but so yeah, I know. I feel you. Let's see. I think that was it. I just looked at the time. It's already been an hour and 13 minutes. Can you believe that?
No way. Holy moly.
Hey, there's a cat.
Got a guest.
What's your cat's name?
That's Kirby.
Kirby. Ooh, I like that name.
Very I've got a fluffy black cat called Pumpkin.
Ah. How is the fluffy black cat Pumpkin and the orange cat isn't named Pumpkin?
Because I like being contrary.
I was gonna say you did that on purpose.
Yeah. Nice. I've got quite a reputation in the Secret Scribes right now of being very sarcastic and.
Oh man, I can see that. We got some more friends popping in here. Richard Holiday's here. What's up, man? Thanks for popping in. Better late than never. That's all right. and Lamia's here. Good evening.
Hi, Lamia.
How are you? Thanks for being here.
Speaking
Go
of
ahead.
Lamia, have you seen The Wingspan of Treason? Do you have a copy? I assume you do.
I need to get one. Because I wanted to get a signed copy from her, but she kind of had some problems at first, and luckily that's all ironed out now. So I have it in my cart to buy it from Amazon, but I'm also like, I just want to get a signed copy from her. So I gotta reach out to her.
Okay, well, I'll have my people contact her people and make sure that you get a copy. So
I have it on ebook though, and I am planning on reading it. I'm going to Mexico this weekend, which I'm excited about. It's one of my things I'm bringing with me to read because I've heard awesome things about it.
I absolutely love The Wingspan of Treason. Definitely one of my top books I read last year, and not just because I like Lamia, but really, it's really good. But the other thing is like, there's a lot of similarities between Aster's character arc and her main character's character arc. So if you ever get around to it, I'd love to hear your take on on that Klaus. He feels like he's like Aster, but in 5 or 10 years.
I like that. Okay,
very similar characterization. It's funny.
Interesting. Well, then I definitely will let you know what I think, because I'm planning on sitting by the ocean or the pool all day long and having people bring me drinks and just.
Oh yeah, where are you going? You're going to Cancun?
Yeah, Cancun to an all-inclusive. So.
Oh, beautiful!
I know. I'm excited. We haven't done anything like that since our honeymoon, so it's been about 16 years. So
that's too long.
I know. We've gone to like an overnight somewhere without the kids or something on our anniversary, but
no big trip.
No big trips or anything. So we're overdue.
Well, I hope you enjoy yourself. Have an extra cocktail for me.
I will.
Maybe something fruity like a pina colada or a strawberry daiquiri.
Nice. Oh yes, of course. I like the last time I went down there. I really liked the Miami Vice. Those were good. Those were very good. Or Sunset. Dang it! What were they called? Tango Sunset or something like that. I don't know. It was pink and orange. It looked really cool. Those are good.
Great. You have any adventures planned, or are you just going to be sitting on the beach?
I'm hoping not to do it. Last time we went, so we went with like her best friend and my best friend are actually a couple, which is really works out really well. And we went with them on our honeymoon trip because they were also going to Mexico. And my friend, he's very like different than me. I could just sit and read and do nothing all day, and that sounds awesome. He's very like, all right, we've been sitting for a while. We got to do something. So we went on a couple excursions, which were fine. Mm-hmm. But like, I'm hoping because they're going also. We're not going together, but we're going to be at the same resort. And I'm like, dude, I don't really want to do an excursion this time. Like, you're just gonna have to chillax, go for some walks or something. Find something have fun in the ocean or something because I just want to read and chill all day long. So we'll see what happens, but I don't know.
Make sure you wear lots of sunscreen. That's all I'll say because reading on that chair, you might get lost in your book and all of a sudden get bright red.
I know. I'm actually a little nervous because my friend has like some. He's very tan naturally, anyways, and then my wife and his wife are going to go get a spray tan before they go. And I was like, oh gosh, I'm going to be like pasty white next to everybody. So I'm like, I told my wife, I agreed to try to get the spray tan too.
Oh, so
we'll see how that goes. So
we definitely need pictures of that.
I'm planning on doing a couple of check-in videos while I'm there just for fun and stuff. So you'll see if I look ridiculous or not. We'll see. Like, I don't want to look orange. I just want to not look as white. Like, I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
You got to get the pre-spray tan, post-spray tan, and then post-sun trip tan as well. And compare all three of them, and we'll do a color gradient discussion.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I like that. Did you ever watch Friends back in the day?
Yeah, I did.
I'm worried I'm going to be like Ross at the thing and be like, keep turning around and just get like a 12 in the front and a 0 in the back. Oh man, that was a good show.
Oh yeah,
that was one of my favorite episodes. That one. Oh.
Well, if you do that, I'll laugh. So if you got my permission.
Oh. Oh man, Mike says he could have made the spray tan happen. Mike, you got like a spray tan set up or something? in
think
your house?
Might mix the chemicals for those spray
Oh
tans.
yeah, that's right. Dang it, man. Missed my opportunity. Oh man. All right, dude. Well, it is an hour and 20 minutes. I should make sure my kids are all right, and you probably got things to do, I suppose.
Yeah, like
other than
baby
talk to me.
stuff.
I mean, you have a baby, I guess. You should probably take care of it. You've got a black cat named Pumpkin that you got to check on back there.
Yeah, I think she was fighting with Kirby just earlier.
Oh,
If
really?
anyone caught that over there, that's Pumpkin.
Oh, right there. Yeah, I see. She's
She's
still.
photographed very well as a black void.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought that was just like a thing over there.
Pumpkin.
She's so chill. That's awesome.
All right. Well, thanks so much for having me on the channel finally. And
yes, and we'll definitely do it again. We've got 2 opportunities when the mystery book with Bookbringer comes out. You of course need to come on so we can celebrate that. And then when book 2 comes out.
Absolutely. Oh, and we also have a Secret Scribes anthology that's coming up that we're gonna get you a copy of.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
So
that's exciting. Any estimates on these? You don't have to if you don't have any, but any like for sure with any of them that you know about?
Yeah, so the anthology is probably the one that's going to be most soon to release, and I think that's going to be end of spring, early summer. Right now, we have the baby trio who's in charge, and that's me, I'm doing the formatting, and Lamia is doing the cover art, who she just had a child. And Bill Adams is doing the editing. So we have all 10 stories written, and they all are amazing.
I can't wait.
I think everyone's going to really love them. Yeah, so we need to do our work. The baby trio needs to finish our our tasks, and then we'll be ready for cover reveal and sending out some arcs. So
very cool, man. That is awesome.
she's changing the diaper
over drafting art. It happens. Although Lamia is pretty impressive. I'm sure if anyone can figure out how to do both at the same time, she could do it.
Yeah, while doing brain surgery, she could probably do artwork and change a diaper. And
yeah, I think so. Oh man. Well,
and then the murder mystery would be the second up, and I think probably early 2026, if I'm guessing. Maybe if I really put my pedal to the metal end of this year, but we'll see.
That's what I was gonna ask if you knew about that one. So so you've got a lot of things popping coming up quick here.
Yeah, it should be exciting.
That's right. So in the description, if you're watching this live or in the replay, the link to this awesome book will be down there. So check it out. I highly recommend it. It was a lot of fun to read. The link will be down there. Find Alex on his socials. Which things are you on if people want to follow you and reach out?
Twitter, Blue Sky, Goodreads, Instagram, although I haven't figured out Instagram yet. I don't get it.
There's a learning curve to all of them. They're all just different enough.
I know, really.
Right? Yep. Awesome. So you're on all the things.
On all the things.
All the things. All right. So you can find him on all those things. He's got a lot of awesome works in progress, WIPs that are going to be coming out soon. And yeah, thank you everybody in the chat. You guys were awesome. Thanks for all the questions. You guys were great. And Alex, this was a lot of fun, man. We'll definitely do it again.
Absolutely.
All right.
Bye.
Awesome. All right. I got to do my thing. And I always do at the end. I'm a creature of habit. So before I do it though, is there anything else? I want to make sure I give you the floor. You kind of talked about things coming out, but is there anything else you want to say before we go?
No.
All right.
I think we covered everything.
Offered. You cannot say I did not. All right. So everybody have a great night. I actually won't have another one until actually for quite a bit because I'm going to be in Mexico. But for those in the bookish booktube sphere, my next one will be on Thursday the 27th, and it's going to be one that I am pretty excited about, and I'm going to leave that a mystery because it's going to be exciting. So look for more info on that soon as we get closer, but I won't be back for like a week, but I'll have some videos out, but not live. So anyways, everybody have a great night. Have a great week. And I will talk to you guys in the next one. And until I do, as I always say, devour your TBRs, be brave, be beautiful to one another, and be beastly.